Hello, welcome to the Utah Puck Report. We're going to get to know Kailer Yamamoto today and just talk about some stuff. Like, I got to talk to you a little bit last year. First off, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah.
And I talked to you a little bit last year about, just what it was like to be here and making your mark on the team. Like, you're a proven NHL player. And I want to get to know what drives your engine. And, like, first off, you're from Seattle?
Yep. Spokane.
Spokane, sorry. Tell me, like, your first hockey memory. When do you remember really starting to play hockey?
I want to say when I was actually like 4 years old. I remember it's funny. Shorter guy.
Yeah.
So to see over the bench, my dad and the coach, she's a cute little lady. She's like 4'8" or something like that. Olga Pasher, but she would bring a milk carton. I'd have to stand on the milk carton
Okay.
just to see over the bench. But that was kind of my first memory. And then obviously like pictures of like my grandpa taking me to like learn to skate. I was like, I want to say like 2 years old maybe or something like that. He would put M&Ms on the ice and I would go chase after him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like E.T., okay. Yeah, that's cool. It's funny, we make fun of other firefighters. If they're below 6 feet tall, we'll put like a milk curtain next to the engine, like they have to step into it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So you have a brother.
Yep.
Is it Keanu?
Yep, Keanu.
Very cool. Everybody loves the name Keanu.
Yep.
And you guys grew up playing together?
Yep.
And there's a tie-in with Tyler Johnson?
Yep.
What's the tie-in there?
So he's also from Spokane. Obviously, he's a little bit older, but parents kind of got to know his parents a little bit. And then his mom was actually one of my first skating coaches in Spokane. So kind of learned how to skate from her and another lady down there. But yeah, no, that's kind of how I got to know him. And turns out, yeah, he played in the NHL, and then I was trying to make the NHL. And then he played for the Chiefs. I played for the Chiefs and started to end up working out with them like in the summers and skating with them in the summers as well.
When did you know that hockey was what you wanted to do? Was it at that 4-year-old mark, or was it like? Do you remember being like, I'm obsessed with hockey. This is me.
Yeah, I think it was pretty cool. My parents growing up, they put me into a lot of sports. Like I wrestled, played baseball, soccer. Kind of did a lot of things. But obviously when I was like 12-year-old or something like that, my dad's like, "Hey man, you gotta pick because hockey's taking up a lot." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll probably play hockey." I was also the best at it too, out of all the sports. So it was an easy choice. But yeah, I want to say like right around there. But I loved it ever since I was like a little kid. Ever since like started skating when I was 2 to right now. So.
Do you think playing the other sports helped up until that point? Do you wish you would have kept being able to play other sports?
Oh, absolutely. I think growing up, being able to play a lot of different sports, it not only helps with you like just learning different fundamentals for other sports, different athletic abilities and kind of stuff like that. But I loved playing baseball, wrestling. Wrestling was tough. I actually really liked wrestling, but broke my elbow one year, and then that's when my dad was like, "Yeah, all right, you're probably done with that one."
Broke it with a fall, or broke it with like an arm?
Yeah, I got taken down doubling. I just put my arm out, and then my bone snapped off, like on my elbow, it swelled up, and then I was still wrestling, and my coach was like, I was like, "Stop the fight, stop it!" My coach was like, "Why are you making it stop?" And then I like showed him my elbow. It kind of just like went this way.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "All right, yeah, we're good." And so my parents were there actually. I was like the only wrestling mate they were. So I had to sit there for like an hour, kind of just waiting there, my elbow in my arm, and then went to urgent care. And then they're like, "Yep, your elbow snapped."
Oh man, that's terrible. I snapped mine one time too. And out of all the injuries I've had as a firefighter over almost 30 years, I was a SWAT medic, and in SWAT training, doing arm control.
Yeah.
I ended up snapping my elbow too. I was like, man, that's just a brutal injury. Like, you don't
awful.
realize how much it moves.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's awful. Especially seeing that Jaden Williams one. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's gonna give me nightmares.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Okay, so hometown boy playing for the Spokane Chiefs. What was that like? Were you like the big man on campus because you're from the town? And
it was funny. No, it was awesome. Because I got to play with my brother too as well. So he came in a year earlier than me, I believe. But we were always probably going to go college, honestly, because when we played in LA, my billet dad was huge lawyer, like in California. He was like, "You guys are going to college. You guys are going to college." And then just turns out like my brother ended up going to Chiefs camp, got an offer from them, and then ended up signing there and living at home and stuff like that. So to be able to kind of go through that year and like look at colleges and then talked to my brother like how it was in Spokane. He was like, "It's pretty cool. You get to live at home. You get to see all your buddies again that you grew up with, and you get to
Yeah, most junior players don't get to live at home and play juniors.
No, so it was unbelievable. I think the coolest part was just to be able to play with my brother. And really, I grew up with playing with him like quite a bit. And there's a few years where we didn't, but to come back like kind of full circle, play back at home because I traveled quite a bit early in my life for hockey. To come back, it was pretty special.
Talk to me a little bit about when you knew you were going to get drafted. What teams did you talk to? Did you know who was going to draft you? Were you hoping that a different team would draft you, or did you know?
It was interesting. I actually had no idea, but you talked to quite a few. I think I talked to maybe I can't remember. It's quite a while ago now. I'm getting kind of old now, but I want to say I talked to 10 or 13 teams or so like that. But Edmonton was really the one that they did a little bit extra. They took me out to dinner. They took me to. I don't know if you know Gaza Ranch. It's kind of out by where I live, like an hour and a half. But they took me out there golfing and kind of stuff like that. So I knew they were pretty interested. I can't remember the other team that was pretty interested. So I was like, it could be a toss-up, or maybe they won't take me, or maybe I'll go slip into the second round. But no, I was really happy with them picking me. To get drafted and then be able to play with McDavid, Draisaitl, all those guys. It was pretty spectacular to see, like on a day-to-day basis, what those guys do, what they do off the ice, how hard they work on the ice and practice, what they do in games and stuff like that. It was pretty cool.
Was there any of that was a really shock to you to see how like McDavid or Draisaitl prepare themselves and how they treat their bodies and how they? I mean, is it that much different than playing juniors? Do you see way more of a drive in them?
I would say it's a crazy big difference, but I think they're just so driven to be the best. Yeah. I think every game it's like, I'm going to be the best player on the ice, and it doesn't matter what it's going to take. And I think that was what was really cool about those guys.
Wow, that's crazy. So your number gets called, and you're called by one of the most legendary programs in the NHL. And talk to me just a little bit about that night and being an experience with your parents.
I wish I could. I think I blacked out when they called my name. But no, it was very nerve-wracking going up there. Obviously, I don't like to. I'm not a huge public speaker. Don't love to It's weird because I play hockey and I'm always in front of a big crowd. But there's something different about when you're kind of by yourself and you're up in front of that big of a crowd. And yeah, it was.
Where was the draft at that year?
Chicago.
Okay.
But it was really cool. To have my parents there, my brother and my sister. Just to be able to enjoy that moment with me, and then all the stuff afterwards. It was something I'll never forget. One of the best days of my life for sure.
Yeah, I bet. Let's talk a little bit about you get to play for Seattle. That had to be kind of cool too. You, a Washington boy, things didn't work out the way you wanted them to in Edmonton, and that happens, and you end up in Seattle. And were you hoping to go to Seattle? Was that a focus when they announced they were going to have a team? You're like, hey, it's basically a hometown team, or
Yeah, it was interesting because I knew, obviously, the thing that happened in Edmonton, unfortunate circumstance, but yeah. So then I got traded at Detroit, and then I was like, yeah. I had 5 guys from Detroit. It's pretty funny. I had 5 guys from Detroit text me oh, super excited for the year, and then I get a text. I think it was a day later, or something like that. The agent just goes, I have a hunch they're going to buy you out too. I was like, oh, God. I was like, okay, that's wild. So then the news broke, and then he's like, is there any other team that you would want to go to? And I was like, honestly, I don't really care. I just want a contract. And he's like, no, what? Is there a team? And I was like, I don't know. Seattle would be pretty cool. If pretty close to home, that'd be really cool. And then ended up I want to say a couple of days later, agent calls me. He's like, hey, Seattle offered you. So that was a pretty cool moment.
Yeah.
My parents were fired up. They were able to go. Obviously, the hockey wasn't the greatest, but for me, but they were able to go to quite a few games. And I got to see them quite a bit that year, which was awesome.
So last year you come to Utah, and one of the things I was talking to you about is being here, being with you. You're in Seattle, and you're seeing all this crazy stuff on the news every day about the Coyotes and Utah, and then all of a sudden it's part of your life. What's it been like since you've been here? What was it like at the beginning of last year, and kind of go through that experience with us?
It was awesome last year. Obviously, coming into camp last year with the PTO was a little bit different. Never done that, so I had a little bit more nerves. But to be able to go into that and just see all the staff, Brian Smith, the coaches, everybody, just how well everyone gets taken care of here and how well Ryan's done with all of his facilities and stuff like that. It's sorry.
No, you're good.
It's pretty remarkable, to be completely honest. Like the facility we're in now, I think is the best in the NHL. I haven't even seen anything close to it right now. So
and that's a guy coming from Seattle.
Yeah.
Everybody say theirs is close.
Yeah, no. I would say this is state of the art. Like this is the pinnacle of, I want to say, everything that an NHL team wants to have. So, but yeah, going from last year, going down to Tucson, thought I was maybe going to get called up a couple times. Obviously didn't, but had an absolute amazing time in Tucson. Never played in a market where it's 60 degrees every day, which was crazy.
Yeah.
So that was really awesome. And then the guys down there are awesome. Got to know a lot of great guys, like still really good friends now. And then obviously coming back up at the end of last year was really cool just to, be able to play in the NHL again and just, show to myself that you can still play up here and stuff like that. And then obviously to make the team this year, it's pretty special and, trying to work every day, to stay on the team.
I was also really surprised you didn't get called up more last year. Like I told you last year, like I knew who you were right away. I've watched your game quite a bit. I watched you in Edmonton, watched you in Seattle. I've been a fan. I really like the way you play. And then I really thought that would fit in with the style last year. And this year, you seem to have a little bit more of an edge. And Bear has said, like, you're the biggest player in the NHL for your size. That's what he said. It seems like, do you think maybe being in the minors last year, you had a little bit more time to either refine some skills or maybe did it make you more hungry to be in the league this year?
Absolutely. But then again, like the AHL, there's a lot of great players still. I mean, it's obviously more of, I would say, a development league. It's a little bit younger, but no, I think going down there, I was able to, get a lot of reps, play a lot of hockey, which was awesome. And like you said, like refine my skills. I think I came out of that feeling a lot more confident, I would say, in myself and my skills and just believing myself again. I think that's one of the things I think in hockey that is, I would say, one of the most things that you should have is confidence. I think if you don't have confidence, you're not going to be doing much out there. You're just going to be second guessing everything and stuff like that. So I think me being able to go down there and gain that confidence back and come back up here with confidence, I think it really helped me. Yeah,
it's awesome. It definitely shows in your game. Like I said, I've watched your game a lot. I think there's something more to your game this year. But yeah, I just thought that's been a lot of fun to play. When you look back at everything you've done so far, is there a moment, is there a game, or is there a tournament or something where you're like, that's the most fun I've ever had playing hockey?
I'm trying to think here. I would say Edmonton playoffs were really fun. Just being up there and seeing the fans and everything like that. It's wild up there. Like those are some of the loudest barns ever. Tucson last year was a lot of fun. The guys were great down there. Played a lot of hockey, which was awesome. But yeah, I think growing up too, playing hockey, it was so much fun. Had my dad coach me for a few years and stuff like that, and got to know a lot of really good guys. So I would say probably a couple of those.
Did your mom get to come on the last road trip?
She did, yeah. She loved it.
What do your parents think of Utah?
She thinks it's awesome. I think for her to come up here and, just witness our lives on a day-to-day basis and, just being there. My dad went one year, I think in Edmonton, and then she was like, when are we going to get a mom trip? And I was like, I don't know.
It's not up to me, Mom.
Yeah, it's not up to me, but hopefully soon. But no, for her to come on that trip and just see how well Utah takes care of us on and off the road, it's she was pretty amazed. She was pretty blown away, I would say.
That's awesome. So you've got a lot of stuff going on in your life. Did you just get married or you're about to get married?
I just got married August 10th.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
And where's your wife from?
She's from Spokane as well.
Okay, perfect.
She's about 40 minutes away from me.
And I'm not trying to diss on anybody else's hometown, but for a lot of players coming into Utah, they come in and they're like, Utah's so beautiful. Spokane is also so beautiful. So it's kind of like a little bit of a toss-up. At least you're not stepping down.
Absolutely.
Like Utah's so beautiful, but Spokane's beautiful too. Does your wife like it here?
She does actually. Yeah, she loves it. We got 2 dogs, so we're able to take the dogs out quite a bit and
nice.
Go for walks and stuff like that. So that's really nice.
You guys have a favorite restaurant that you go to in Utah?
Ooh, I'm trying to think here. Not yet as of right now, but we've gone to a couple really good ones.
Okay. And now just getting into this season, what do you think is different about you this year and your playing style? Do you think there's something that you're contributing more this year than you have in the early parts of your career?
I think more my offense. I feel like obviously the points haven't been coming, but I feel like I've been generating a lot more offense than I have in the last few years. At least playing on the fourth line with Stenny and Tanev and stuff like that. So I think that, and obviously trying to work on my defensive game every time, forward checks, kind of anything.
Yeah, it's to me one of the best things to see, and I see the same thing on a Cooley's. In the offensive zone, if the other team gains possession, like you're that pest that's just going to create that turnover in the offensive zone and regain possession. And I see that a lot more this year than I've seen earlier in your career. Maybe that's the confidence you're talking about.
Yeah.
What would you tell the fans about right now? Like obviously, the season started off hot, and now that you guys are going through ups and downs, which most of us expected to see. A lot of the fans just thought, hey, we won all those games early. We're just probably going to never lose again.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you tell the fans right now from what you see on the work on the ice? What do you think is going to happen the rest of the year? What would you tell the fans that are getting frustrated right now?
I would say just stay behind us. Obviously every team's going to go through a rough patch, but I think the guys in the locker room, all the guys that we have, we're definitely going to turn this ship around and, we're going to be a lot better for it throughout the regular season. I think once you have a rough patch, I think that's when you start to figure things out. And then after that, it's only up from there. So I think just stay behind us and, we're going to figure it out here soon.
One of my coaches always told me that scars build character.
Absolutely.
And those losses are scars. And that's the part you need. You need to go through all that now so that at the end of the season, you've already known what it's like to go into an overtime game where you've already lost the lead and how to regain it or whatever. So that was, sometimes it sounds like just talk, but I played for a guy named JP Parisi. I'm sure you know who that is. And he was like, I just take all his advice now. At the time, it just sounded like, what you say after a loss, but it really is true.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to tell the fans too. I'm like, hey, of course we're not going to win every game, but what they're going through now is going to help us later.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I hope to see you in the lineup every night, and I really appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. That is the Utah Puck Report. Kailer Yamamoto.